Alrighty, folks. Now, real quick, if you find yourself enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please feel free to, subscribe to my content. I love to connect with you on a daily basis. And of course, if you don't know who I am, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. We're also 5-0 in our last 5 crowd pleaser teasers on my premium site. And if you sign up for today's crowd pleaser teaser, you're going to get access to that package every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Giants at the Reds, 12:05 Eastern first pitch. San Francisco is minus $1.30, totals 9.5. Robbie Ray for the Giants, Carson Spears for Cincinnati. And Spears has an ERA in the 3s, along with a 1.19 whip. Now, the Reds have also won 6 out of their last 10, and they look good for the most part in those victories. Elly De La Cruz has the most hits and stolen bases on the roster. Spencer Steer's got the most RBI. And they're going to face a San Francisco team who plays their worst baseball away from Oracle Park. The Giants have a .392 win percentage when they bat first. And out of their last 10 gatherings with the Reds, they've really struggled rounding the bases. The Giants have been held to just 3.4 runs a game in those 10 head-to-head gatherings. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Now, injury-wise, Flores and Estrada are out for the Giants. Austin Wynn is inactive for Cincinnati. 3 out of the Reds' last 5 at the Great American Ballpark stayed under the total. They're also 70% to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Reds plus $1.10, under 9.5. Next game, D-backs Pirates, 135 East. Pittsburgh's $1.55, totals 8 runs. Paul Skeens for Pittsburgh, Ryan Nelson for Arizona. And the D-backs did get the W in their last 5 straight Nelson starts. They actually scored 44 total runs during that short span. And as hot as they've been recently at the dish, the D-backs are now the highest run-producing team in the majors. Ketel Marte leads the roster in RBI and hits. He's actually in the top 10 of the league in batting average, homers, and OPS. And Jock Peterson has an OPS of .922. And they're taking on a Pittsburgh club who scored just 7 total runs in their last 3 Paul Skeens starts. And I'll tell you what, that's not overly surprising. These guys definitely have had a tough time rounding the bases at PNC Park. They're a bona fide run-producing team at home. Now, injury-wise, Palacios and Gonzalez are out for the Bucks. Ji-Hwan Bae is questionable. Meanwhile, for Arizona, Christian Walker's inactive for them. Now, 3 out of the Pirates' last 4 at PNC Park did stay under the total. They're also 6-2 to the under in their last 8 Paul Skeens starts. Give me Arizona plus 1.5, under 8. All right, next matchup, Marlins Braves, 135 East. Atlanta's minus 275, totals 8.5. Max Fried for the Braves, Edward Cabrera for Miami. Now, Cabrera's just 1-3 with an ERA of 6.65. And even if Cabrera has a good showing here today, there's a good chance he'll get little to no run support. The Marlins are dead last in the National League in runs per game. They're going to face Max Fried, who's got a 3.08 ERA along with a 1.16 whip. And this Atlanta pitching staff has been very tough to hit against. They lead the major leagues in strikeouts per 9 on the mound. Now, injury-wise, Albies is still out for Atlanta. Myers inactive for Miami. Atlanta's last 3 at Truist Park stayed under the total. They also went 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Braves minus 1.5, under 8.5. Next ball game, Brewers Nationals, 135 East. Milwaukee's the $1.30 favorite, totals 9 runs. Toby Myers for the Brewers, Mitch Parker for Washington. And Parker has a losing record on the season with a .431 ERA. And even if he does have a good showing here today, the Nats have definitely struggled scoring in the nation's capital. They're a bottom 10 run-producing team in their own stadium. And they're going to face Toby Myers, who has an ERA of 3.10 along with a 1.14 whip. Now, Myers is also backed by a competent lineup of sluggers. The Brewers are a top 5 hit-producing lineup on the road in the National League. William Contreras leads the lineup in hits. Billy Adames has the most RBI. When it comes to the total, 7 out of Milwaukee's last 10 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Washington went 80% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Brewers minus 130 over 9. All right, next matchup, little AL East action here. Blue Jays, Yankees, 135 East. New York's the 225 favorite in the Bronx. Total's 9.5. Garrett Cole for the Bombers. Yariel Rodriguez for Toronto. Now, Rodriguez is just 1-4 with an ERA of 4.31. And out of 37 divisional contests this year, the Blue Jays have a 4.05 win percentage. And a lot of that has to do with poor plate appearances. The Jays are a bottom 5 run-scoring team in the American League. And they're facing a Yankee club who's gone 4-1 in their last 5 Garrett Cole starts. 7 runs a game they averaged during that stretch. And I'll tell you what, that's not overly surprising. The Bombers lead the American League right now in runs per game. Aaron Judge has 41 homers, 103 RBI. He's actually leading the league in both of those categories. And, of course, Juan Soto, he's been walked 90 times this season and has an OPS in the thousands. He's actually been walked more than Judge. Now, out of the Pinstripers' last 10 meetings with Toronto, they scored 61 total runs during that time frame. So certainly having a good time hitting this Toronto pitching. Now, injury-wise, Trevino's still out for New York. Bichette inactive for Toronto. 5 out of the Jays' last 6 road games did get over the total. They're also 9-1 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Now, the Yankees saw 9 out of their last 10 ball games get over the total themselves. Give me the Yankees minus 1.5 over 9.5. All right, next game, Orioles, Guardians, 140 Eastern first pitch. Baltimore's minus $120, totals 8 runs. Corbin Burns for Baltimore, Gavin Williams for Cleveland. And both pitchers with some decent numbers coming into this one. Cleveland's Gavin Williams averages over a strikeout an inning, and he's got an ERA in the 3s. Meanwhile, Corbin Burns is the 11-4 with a 1.04 whip. Of course, at the plate, both teams with some very competent sluggers at the dish. Baltimore's in the top 5 in hits per game. And tell you what, Cleveland's a top 10 run-producing lineup on their own ball field themselves. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Cleveland's last 5 at Progressive Field got over the total. Meanwhile, Baltimore went 9-1 to the over in their last 10. Now, injury-wise, Jordan Westburg's out for the O's with a hand injury. Give me the over 8 runs. Excuse me. All right, next matchup. AL East, Royals, Tigers, 140 Eastern first pitch. KC's $155 on the road, totals 8.5. Michael Wacha for Kansas City, Brian Sammons for Detroit. And through just a handful of innings, the lefty Sammons already has an ERA in the 6s. Of course, as a team, the Tigers lost 7 out of their last 10, and they really had some poor at-bats during that time frame. They're a bottom 5 hit-producing lineup. They're going to face an 8-win Michael Wacha, who's got 91 strikeouts and an ERA in the 3s. And these Royals pitchers have definitely thrown well away from Kauffman Stadium. These guys allow fewer runs a game on the road than any other pitching staff besides one. And out of their last 10 head-to-head gatherings, the Royals held Detroit to under 3.6 runs a game. Now, they also saw 5 out of their last 7 Michael Wacha starts stay under the line. Give me Kansas City minus 155, under 8.5. All right, next matchup. Another AL Central game here. White Sox Twins, 2:10 p.m. East. Minnesota's minus 280, totals 9. Simeon Woods Richardson for the Twins, Chris Flexen for Chicago. Now, the 2-10 Flexen's given these guys little chance to win games. The righty's got an ERA of 5.13. He's also backed by the lowest run-producing lineup in the game. And they're going to face S.W. Richardson, who's got a whip of 1.18. The righties also recorded 2 losses in 91-plus innings of work. Now, he's backed by one of the best hit-producing lineups in the game. These guys are currently in the top 3 in hits per game at home. Royce Lewis has an OPS in the thousands. Willie Castro leads the lineup in hits. Now, injury-wise, Correa and Farmer are still out for Minnesota. Andrew Vaughn's out for Chicago. And when it comes to the total, the Sox averaged just 3.3 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Minnesota. Now, the Twins saw 3 out of their last 4 Richardson starts stay under the line. Give me Minnesota minus 1.5, under 9. All right, next game, Rays, Astros, 2:10 Eastern start time. Houston's minus $1.55, totals 8.5. Spencer Arrighetti for the Stros, Hunter Biggie for Tampa Bay. And both pitching staffs with definitely some concerns, in my opinion. For Tampa Bay, they're allowing 8.9 hits a game on the road. And for Houston, Spencer Arrighetti's just 4-9 with an ERA in the 5s. Now, the Stros saw overs recently against the likes of Pittsburgh, Dodgers, and the Athletics. Meanwhile, 2 out of Tampa's last 4 got over the total as well. Give me the over, 8.5. Next game, Red Sox, Rangers, 2:35 East. Texas is $1.35, totals 8. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers, Nick Pivetta for Boston. Now, Pivetta's got 112 strikeouts and a 1.17 whip. Of course, at the plate, the Red Sox are now the best hit-producing club in the majors. They're averaging more hits per 9 than any other roster in the bigs. Rafi Devers is in the top 10 in batting average, home runs, and OPS. And Jarren Duran leads the clubhouse in hits. And they're facing a Ranger club who lost 6 out of their last 8. And they definitely struggle with Boston hitting. These Ranger pitchers allowed 5.4 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Boston. Of course, as a team, the Rangers are currently 5 games below 500. Now, 3 out of the Rangers' last 4 at home did get over the total. They're also 9-1 to the over in their last 10. Now, Boston, on the other side, they went 8-2 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Bo Sox plus $1.15, over 8. Next game, Dodgers, Athletics, 4:07 East. The Dodgers are minus $1.55, totals 8.5. River Ryan for the Dodgers, Ozzie Beto for Oakland. And Beto's got only 2 wins on the year, ERA of 5 flat. Of course, at the plate, the A's have struggled getting base runners. They're in the bottom 5 in hits per game at home. And they're facing River Ryan, who's looked good in a handful of innings. Right, he's got a sub-1 ERA through 11 innings of work. He's also got a solid 1.09 whip. Of course, at the dish, the Dodgers are a top 5 run-producing lineup. Shohei Ohtani has the most homers in the National League, highest OPS as well. And Freddie Freeman's got an on-base percentage of .395. Now, injury-wise, Rojas, Betts, and Taylor are out for the Dodgers. Ruiz and Soderstrom are out for the A's. When it comes to the total, the A's were held to just 5.9 hits a game in their last 10 meetings with the Dodgers. Of course, LA's 60% to the under in their interleague road games. Give me the Dodgers minus $1.55, under 8.5. All right, next game, Mets, Angels, 4:07 East. The Mets are minus 145, totals 10 runs. Jose Quintana for the Mets, Griffin Canning for Los Angeles. And Canning's just 3-10 with an ERA in the 5s. And even if Canning throws well, he might not get much run support. The Angels are a bottom 5 run-producing team. And they're going to face Jose Quintana, who's got 90 strikeouts and an ERA in the 3s. Of course, at the plate, the Mets are the second highest run-scoring team on the road in the game. Franklin Lindor leads the clubhouse in hits. Brandon Nimmo's got the most RBI. When it comes to the injury list, Starling Marte's out for the Mets. Rendon and Rengifo inactive for Los Angeles. 5 out of the Angels' last 9 home games did get over the total. Meanwhile, New York 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Mets minus 145, over 10 runs. All right, next game, NL West, Rockies, Padres, 4:10 Eastern start time. San Diego's minus $2, totals 8 runs. Matt Waldron for the Pods, Cal Quantrill for the Rockies. And Quancy's got an ERA of 4.50 along with a 1.39 whip. And even if he does end up throwing well here today, the Rockies have been terrible at the dish. These guys strike out more times a game on the road than any other club in the league. And because of that, the Rockies are averaging just 7.4 hits a game on the road. And they're facing Matt Waldron, who's got an ERA in the 3s along with a 1.17 whip. Of course, at the plate, the Pods are a top 3 hit-producing lineup. Jurickson Profar is the club leader in hits and RBI. Luis Arraez has an on-base percentage of .334. Now, injury-wise, Tatis is still out for the Pods. Jones inactive for Colorado. When it comes to the total, the Rockies are 5-4 to the under in their last 9 road games. Give me the Pods minus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. Next ball game, Phillies Mariners, 4:10 Eastern start time. Philadelphia's minus 135, totals 7. Zach Wheeler for the Phils, Logan Gilbert for Seattle. And Gilbert's definitely been excellent for the Mariners. You know, now that they're hitting the baseball, we should see that that win-loss record turn around for him. Gilby's got a 3.11 ERA and a .90 whip. And these Mariner pitchers have been impossible to hit against at T-Mobile Park. They're allowing a league-low 6.7 hits a game on their own field. And they're going to face a struggling Phillies team who lost their last 6 straight. Just 3-12 straight up in their last 15. And in their interleague road games, the Phils have lost 10 of 17 in that category. Now, injury-wise, Crawford, Rodriguez, and Canzone are out for the M's. When it comes to the total, 7 out of Seattle's last 10 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Philadelphia went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Mariners plus $1.15, over 7. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. Cards-Cubs, 7:10 Eastern first pitch. Chicago's $1.45, totals 8.5. Justin Steele for the Cubs, Miles Michaelis for St. Louis. And Michaelis has 8 losses on the season, ERA of 4.99. Of course, at the plate, the Cards are a bottom 5 run-producing team in the National League on the road. They're going to face Justin Steele, who's got an ERA in the 3s along with a 1.11 whip. And I'll tell you what, when the Cubs pitch at Wrigley, good things tend to happen. They're in the top 3 and fewest runs allowed on their own diamond. Now, injury-wise, Nitto's out. Tauchman's questionable. When it comes to the total, the Cubs' last 6 straight Justin Steele starts fell under the line. 9-1 to the under in their last 10 in that same category. Give me the Cubbies, minus 145, under 8.5. And with that, folks, we're going to slide into our quick pick recap. Give me the Reds plus $1.10, under 9.5. Diamondbacks plus 1.5, under 8. I'm 5-0. My last 5 crowd pleaser teasers on my premium site. Atlanta Braves minus 1.5, under 8.5. Brewers minus 130, over 9. Yankees minus 1.5, over 9.5. I like the over 8 in the Orioles-Guardians game. Royals minus $1.55, under 8.5. Twins minus 1.5, under 9. I like the over 8.5 in the Rays-Astros game. Give me the Red Sox plus $1.15, over 8 runs. Dodgers minus 155, under 8.5. Mets minus 145, over 10. Padres minus 1.5, under 7.5. Mariners plus $1.15, over 7 runs. And give me the Cubs minus 145, under 8.5. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium site. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/BrockPage. /Brock Page.